درخت فروردین پرشکوفه شد جانم دامنه ز گل دارم بچه کس بیفشانم ای نسیم جان پرور امشب از برم بگذر.
It's a very good question. I think main part of Iranian cinema right now are very political, like the film you already watched. It's about marginalized people in Iran. And I think as an Iranian, the reason it looks authentic is that the Iranian filmmakers are exposed with the reality and with the experience that marginalized people suffer from. So actually you hear a lot of news and a lot of stories from the community that you wanted to tell your story about them. And in the process of writing, you usually do research. And on top of that, when we audition our actors, because they're not professional, it was their first time, and they're from the refugee community, we talked a lot about their situation. Raha and I, we both asked them to rewrite the story if they like and add their own ideas. So we've been through a lot of stories from those community, from our actors. They add a lot into the script, and this whole process made the film, I think, as authentic as possible. I think we are living in a world with a lot of stories nowadays, with a lot of misinformation and a lot of disinformation. And a big part of our society, their stories are unheard because there are many other stories that there are money and power behind them, and they can be heard in a very amplified way. And I think an artist, a filmmaker, has this power to make their voice to be heard. I've been to many Q&As about this film, and one main thing that I always heard was that the people who watched the film didn't know about the life of Afghan refugees in Iran. And I think a lot of people right now know about their situation because of the power of cinema. Otherwise, people doesn't like to be exposed by many things, and there are other stuff they want to do. So if you make a good story about some characters that you want their stories to be heard, cinema can make it. It's a hard question to answer. I was born and raised as an Iranian, and I was like in the middle of Iranian cinema, so I don't know how would be the experience of a non-Iranian person who wanted to experience Iranian cinema for the first time. But I think the most important thing that I can mention is that the art house Iranian cinema is really linked to poetry and Iranian poetry, because I know that regarding other cinemas, people usually talk about literature or politics or I don't know, many other things. I think in Iranian cinema, you can have a better understanding about the director's approach and cinematographer's approach regarding Iranian poetry, because it's a very poetical culture. It's a very poems are important. Poems are recited by the families, even by illiterate families. This is, I think, the main core of Iranian culture. So if you want to understand if you want to have a better understanding about Iranian art house cinema, I think one thing that a one-timer audience can do is to start to read a little bit about Iranian poetry also. So first of all, after Taliban take power in Afghanistan, I don't think it is legal even to go to theaters to watch films. So I don't think that any theaters exist to continue screening films in Afghanistan. In Iran, for screening a film, you need to have a showing license, which is not possible for this film at the moment because of the censorship. So this is not gonna be in Iranian theaters also. But when in Iranian society, when something's censored, a lot of people it can gain more audience actually. It's a paradoxical effect that a lot of more people gonna watch the film on the online platform, and they're gonna find it somewhere to watch it because they just hear that it is censored. And I think it's the case for this film too. And after the theatrical release around the world, there would be an online version somewhere and they're gonna watch it. And I think it can be controversial, and there would be a controversial reaction from Iranian society, but this is something that both Raha and I want, because that can open doors to discussion. For a lot of Iranians, the topic of discrimination and racism is not even exist, and I think they're gonna get shocked after watching this film. And for others, this is something that they're actually fighting for. They're fighting against discrimination in the Iranian society. So I think there would be a big debate between these two point of views. And I think, as I mentioned, this is what both Raha and we want. I don't want to add anything. I just wanted to repeat myself about this controversy. And I think it is something that you're going to understand when I want something and you're not agree with that. It opens door to discussion. When we're angry, we don't even talk about it. I think this film have agreement and disagreement, and it can make that discussion.
Lie. Lied. You lied about your school.